Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this workflow. Now, there's a checkbox right here, and if you uncheck that and then save, maybe you haven't finished your workflow. If I uncheck that, I can save it even if there are errors. But when I'm ready to get it to run, I want to make sure that I validate it first. So I'm going to check that box and choose Save. Okay, it's telling me that it's saved, and I click OK. Now, if I had something not there, let me take this off, and then leave the validate and choose Save again. It tells me there were validation errors found, so the workflow was not saved. So what you can do is the tabs over here, we were on blocks, but if you click on validation, it's showing you what needs to be done. So we've got a disconnected segment, and the OK is not handled. So you can kind of see there it outlined it in red. If you're having trouble finding it, just click on the bullseye and the bullseye. And so we can see these are the two that need to be connected. All right, so let me just make that connection. And then I can run validate again. And there were no errors. Okay, so now I'm going to save that. Now, to get back to the list of workflows, you do not want to use your breadcrumbs up here. You want to use this arrow over here on the far right-hand side. So if I click on that, it takes me back to the list of versions. So here's my VIP customer workflow, and then here's the one that I just created. Now, to publish this so that you can see it run, there's this little publish button here. If I click on that, it's going to tell you any previously active versions are going to be marked as inactive. And do I want to publish this version? Yes. And that's because I mentioned, you can only have one version of a workflow running at a time. So it turns this lovely shade of green. Now I'm going to come back to the user interface, and I'm going to test that out. I'm going to do a browser refresh just so I know that it took. And I'm going to go to a customer record. We'll find good old Marcia Hendrick. We'll make her a VIP and save that. Okay, so I'm going to close that. And again, I'm just going to do a refresh to make sure everything took. And I'm going to create an incident. Marcia's going to be the customer. Okay, summary. All right, misspelled that, but that's okay. And let's put in a category. Let's just collapse that for now. Capacity, and then save. Now, web-based, you don't always see everything take place right away. Everything that you think should take place. We thought this was going to change our priority to a 1. What you have to do oftentimes is just click on the refresh, and then it's going to go and carry out whatever action you thought that it should. So in this case, we can see here it knows Marcia's a VIP, and so it ran the workflow that changes her urgency to a high and then her impact to a high. Okay, and then it runs anything else that it's already configured to do. So let's take a look at one more workflow. We're going to say that we're going to create a workflow that says if an incident's created and the service is service desk, we want it to automatically create a task for desktop service. Okay. So I'm going to come back to the configuration console, and I'm creating a different workflow. This one, I'm going to leave it as the VIP. Come back to workflows, add new, and I'm going to put in task for something like that. Okay, save that. All right, I'm going to add version. Okay, configuration. And so I'm going to say if the incident is created, you could do both, but I'm just going to do created for right now. And I'm just going to leave if the status field is not equal to resolved. Just keep it simple. Okay, now I could on this one here, I could also add and then put if the is VIP is equal to true. I could do that there. But let's put it out in the workflow so we can use more of the blocks over here. Okay, so it is going to, we need a start and we need a stop. And we're going to put an if statement in here. Remember, I could have put it in there. And this one's going to be if what did it say? Service desk. Okay, so over here, how does it know that the service is service desk? Well, it would be, we'd select the service field equal to, and then service desk. Again, it's usually a good idea to just come over here and grab a copy. Control C and Control V, and then we've got it. We know it's accurate. And then save. All right, so there's my if block. If it is service desk, then what I'm going to do is have it create a task over here. Okay, and I'm going to put in task for desktop support. Okay, remember these are the fields that you would see on the task. So there's your summary fields, your details, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to put, whoops, I'm going to put up here. And then over here, I'm going to put a field code there. So I'm going to expand incident. Just drag that over there. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to put and then I'll just put the customer's name in there. It's profile full name. And let's put in, how about the description? Now, sometimes these don't drop in the right spot. You can just, copy and paste and put them somewhere else. This was going to go to desktop support. Wasn't really going to do anything with the priority. I'll just make it the same as the priority on the incident. Oops. Okay. As far as timeout and all that, I'm going to leave that one alone. Save. Now, do I want all these exits? No, I'm just going to say once it's been accepted, move on. So let's double click up here. Let's go to our exits, and I'm going to leave accepted, but I'm going to get rid of all these others. And save. All right, so over here, if the status, or sorry, if the service is service desk, it's going to create this task for desktop support. Once the task has been accepted, then it's going to stop. And again, this is where you can have it go to different areas, but for this one here, I'm just going to bring them all over here. Let's get my start over there for the if. And then if they're not service desk, I'm just going to have it stop. Okay. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to save. I'm leaving this checked because I want it to make sure I have everything filled out properly. See, it appears that I did because it saved it. So now I'm going to come over here to this green arrow. Takes me back to this here. And if I click on this, I'm going to publish that. Okay, and let's test it out in the user interface. Again, I like to do a refresh. And I'm going to create a new incident. Okay, we'll do this one for Marcia. So both of our workflows should run for this one. Okay, service, we said service desk, I think. Category. All right, so I'm going to save this. Now remember, you don't always see what you think you're going to, web-based, so you want to use the browser within the product. So I do that. Now the customer's a VIP, so it changed my impact and urgency to high. And my service is service desk, so I can see it created a task for desktop support. Okay, let's open that up. And so I put the incident number in there, so I put the field code in there. Please go see, and it took the customer's name, and then customer says, and it took what I put in that field there. Okay, and it made it a priority 3, same as what the incident was there. And then save. Okay, so now let's take a look. Those are the workflows, but we're going to take a look now at publishing and unpublishing and editing. So I'm going to come back to the configuration console. And if I wanted to edit this, you just click on the little pencil there. What's nice about this when you're editing is you're never going to write over the original. When you save, it's going to automatically save it as a new version. So let's say there was something I forgot to put up here. I don't know, let's say, we'll leave that one alone. Actually, no, we won't. We'll take that off. Maybe it's going to add a note, or we just want to change something in here. It really doesn't matter. Something like that. Okay, and then save. Now, so that's been done. I made a change to it. So if I come up here and I choose save, it's going to check it because I left the validate on there, and it says saved as new version. So I didn't have to do anything. It automatically saves it as a new version. So it's going to be version 2. You'll see that change. And if I come back to the list here, it doesn't automatically publish the new one. It leaves the other one published. So if I want to publish the new one, I come over here to the publish. Yes. It's telling me that other one's going to be marked as inactive. And this is the new version that's going to be published. So I'll tell it yes. So now you can see it shifted to this one, and this is the one that's published. Now, if I want to make a change to this one, I can go to the pencil and make a change. If I want to go back and use the other one and make changes there, I could make some changes here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's do it down here. Save, made a change. The system knows I made a change. So I save. Okay, so that one was version 1 that I went back into. When I did save, it made it version 3. So when I come back over here, you're going to see I have versions 1, 2, and 3. But version 3 doesn't have any of the changes that I made in version 2 because I created this one off of this first one here. Okay, just something to keep in mind. Now, let's say I wanted to republish version 1. I don't have that button there to publish it anymore. What I can do is I can click on the box over here. Under More Actions, I can choose Activate Version. It's telling me that version 2 is not going to be active anymore, and this one is going to be active. So you do have these options over here. You have to check the box first, and then you have different options. Okay. Now you should be able to export the workflow. Maybe you're working on this in development, and then import it into the production system. I have had times where it doesn't work. It says it's the wrong version. So I can't guarantee, but you do want to, that is one way to get those into the system. Okay, now let's take a look at a workflow running in the user interface. So I'm going to do a new incident. We'll use Marcia again. Okay. All right, I'll leave that on service desk. Category, I don't know, just throw something in there. Okay, and so now I'm going to save this. Remember, when you hit save, it's going to look at all of the workflows that are created for the incident business object. So for example, it's looking at all of these to see which ones that it should run. Okay, well, there's a tab over here on the right called Workflow Instance, and this is going to show you the workflows that are running and then where they are in the process. So this one right here, it shows that it was completed. And actually, I should probably refresh, huh? Okay, so there's my priority. And here's the second one. All right, so this one here was completed. I can open it up, see the version and all that. And if I choose View Instance, so your service desk analyst can come in here and they can see where it is in the process. This one, you know, it said that it completed. But what you can also see is in red, you can see the path that it took. So sometimes, you know, it might be waiting on a task to be completed or something like that. Okay, so let me cancel that. And then the other one here, it says that it's waiting. So let me open this up. View Instance. So remember, anything in red, this is the path that it took. So it started, it looked to see if the service was service desk. It was, so it came down here and it created this task. Well, it's not going to stop the workflow until one of these exits is met. So once I make the, I accept that task. Let's go out of there. So let me go to task and accept. And now if I go to the workflows over here, whoops, let me do my refresh, I can see that now the other one completed. Click on it. So I can see that it completed and I can see the path that it took. Now your users can open those up, but they can't make any changes to those in that view. They're just viewing them. Okay, so that was workflows. Okay, so for help on workflows, you can go to the help files within the product. Just navigate to Home, Administer, and Working with Workflows. A lot of topics in there. Don't forget to join the Ivanti Insider program. And we've prepared a couple of exercises for you to do. They're basically the ones that I just walked through. So create a workflow for the incident business object that will change the priority to a 1 if the customer is a VIP. Remember, you can change the priority or just change the urgency and impact, and that will change the priority. To ensure that the customer is a VIP, go to their employee record, and then there's a little box at the top of the page that you can check, and that makes them a VIP. Make sure you save it afterwards. Okay, and then the second workflow is going to create a task for desktop support if the incident is desktop service. So give those a try.